Hello and welcome to a very belated episode of In the Postpodcast. To my left, it's Alan.
Hello.
To my right, it's Joe.
Howdy guys.
And I'm Sam. Cutting straight to the chase, NBA playoffs. History was made. Cleveland Cavaliers came back down from a 3-1 deficit to beat Golden State in the Oracle Arena at 4-3. Thoughts on the matter?
Quite funny, really. Lots of different reasons why it's funny.
You wasn't thinking about being a Warriors fan for that series, was you?
No, I was back in the Warriors. Once the Mavs went out, I was back in the Warriors. I wanted them to win, but I'm not completely devastated because I don't know, just the way it happened. Like the fact that the Warriors had so many opportunities to still win, not the fact that Draymond Green got suspended. After that, they had 2 chances at home and a chance away on the road, and they still blew it. That's not good, and it kind of tarnishes that regular season because the Warriors had an amazing regular season. Even if they didn't get to 73-9, they still had an amazing season. Curry played some insane basketball, but now they're going to kind of be remembered for, you know,
it's going to be more like a pub quiz statistic from what it is going to be. A great name. You wasn't really too blown away by Steph Curry's performance throughout the playoff series, was you?
No, not at all. It's really annoying, actually. I was a bit annoyed at Curry. It's probably the worst playoff final from an MVP ever. I can't think of a different where an MVP crumbled that much. And he had, as I say, he had an insane regular season. And it wasn't the fact that he played bad or missed shots. He was playing stupid.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, oh no, he's trying too hard. He was playing stupid. Yeah. Stupid round the back passes, unnecessary crossovers leading to turnovers. And he choked. He did a LeBron 2011. He choked. Curry choked.
Too right.
The curry was too spicy for him.
Joe, how did you feel about the finals taking away the Draymond Green suspension, Steph Curry's performance, Klay Thompson in a negative light that he was talking about how it's a man's league, LeBron's feelings got hurt, so... And then as soon as Cleveland done it, Cleveland taking away the best prize in the land, yeah, I'm not going to shake hands, I'm going to walk off, I'm going to be a bit immature. What's your takeaways from it all?
Well, I was thinking that it was the dirty players like Draymond Green in games that are doing everything to win, a bit of gamesmanship. And I've sort of got a bit of respect for him because he did shake LeBron's hand at the end. Yeah. And he said, well done. Whereas the other players, typical like the little man syndrome, sort of trying to get like, oh yeah, you're a mug, that sort of thing, like saying it from a distance when they know that they can't hurt him. But Draymond Green did the right thing, went up to him and shaking his hand. Yeah. I was chuffed a bit that Cleveland won because I don't really like Golden State Warriors anymore.
I think that's the sort of thing that a lot of the dirty players do. I think, like, I'm sure, you know, maybe not quite the old 80s Detroit or anything like that, but a lot of the dirty teams, I'm sure afterwards they will shake your hand at the end and go, good game. If you fought back and gave them what you gave, unless it's like really fighty, a lot of the time you get each other's respect. It happens in the league all the time.
When you think of a sport like rugby, it's 80 minutes of beating each other up, legally.
Physical play,
Yeah, and then at the end of the game, shake hands, done with that. That's a bit like Draymond Green. He knows his game's there. Everyone else knows his game's playing rough and playing hard. End of the day, they lost, shake hands. It's a game at the end.
Yeah. I think that's the thing that, like, I like the Warriors. I really like Curry, but I've noticed that, I don't know, I think because he's got like that boyish look, you know, baby face, he kind of, a lot of people, especially in the media, let him off certain attitudes. Like, I think if Curry did certain things and looked like J.R. Smith, now I'm not saying it's a racial thing, just in general, a lot of people would be on his back a little bit, like when he hits game winners and the way he like sort of tough talks the road crowd or whatever. Like I remember it specifically because I was a bit salty. Curry hit a stupid winner against the Mavs a couple of years ago, and he was just saying, "Oh, we are Dallas here." Like, and I know a lot of players do it, but it was the way he was doing it to the road. Like,
a little bit too showboaty.
Yeah, it was a little bit. All right, mate. Like, you won. All right, calm down. Like, I thought it was just a bit unnecessary. So the fact that the Warriors won, I wasn't devastated. And to be fair, the Cavs could have easily just thought, we 3-1 down, screw this, but they worked hard at it. They had to earn that.
Yeah. Taking away from the playoffs, one of the greatest things I've seen is the MVP, but I've got one for the losing MVP, which is going to be Aisha Curry. Her tweet going out, NBA's rigged, I don't care, I won't be silenced. 10 minutes later, deletes her tweet. Quality moment from Aisha Curry.
She wasn't talking about that finals though. She was happy with that. She was still salty about the 06 finals. That's what it was. She was fixed. I just watched replays.
Did you, Alan, any playoff moments you can take away, like one definitive moment can you take away from not only Game 7 but throughout the whole series? Can you think of one standout moment?
Okay, going away from the final for a second, I think I was very impressed with how the Thunder did in the playoffs. Although they lost and they were 3-1 up and lost, so it looks bad. They still beat the Spurs because everyone was saying it's going to be Spurs Warriors in the finals. Yeah. They crashed that party, and you know what? They were this close on beating the Warriors as well. They were very, very close to doing that, and it kind of made me think that. I think after that, Durant. I'll rephrase. I think because of how well they did, Durant's going to stay at OKC now. I think he was tempted to leave, but he could see they were so close. Yeah. And now they've got Ibaka out, Oladipo in, and made a few moves.
And potential Horford as well.
Yeah, we'll go on to free agency in a minute, but as far as Kevin Durant goes, I think he's going to stay at OKC, he's going to sign a 1-year deal and be a free agent with Westbrook. Yeah. Because there's no point in him signing a 5-year deal and then Westbrook leaves. Yeah. So I think he's going to sign a 1-year plus version. I think, although he was on the losing end, Dellavedova last year, he was that sort of guy. In 11, it was probably someone like JJ Barea, even Brian Cardinal, players like that. They come in and they're ready, and they come in and do what they needed to be done, and step up. And then you get other players in the Warriors who don't step up. So.
Well, Harrison Barnes obviously coming up to a free agency. We'll touch on that in a minute. But Harrison Barnes didn't really make a solid case for free agency.
Not at all.
He's looking for a max deal, but after the way he's played in these playoffs, it's not looking likely. Personally, if I was to take away a moment from the playoffs, I'm going to say you had MJ's for shot, you had Michael Jordan's for shot, so I'm going to go with LeBron's for block. It was definitive 89-89, and I personally believe that if Iguodala hits that layup, I believe the momentum carries Golden State all the way to a championship, so I believe that's stopped.
It would have forced maybe the Cavs to force a 3 as opposed to maybe going for a 2 or things like that, and once the score changes, it makes a difference.
Kyrie Irving's obviously got his version of a shot now. Yeah. Over unanimous MVP Steph Curry.
Stupid shot. I mean, it was like
good, well defended.
He did a moving running 3. They're the sort of 3s that you take on 2K, and you don't expect to go in. They're the ones that at the end where you're just having a mess about with your mates. But he took it, and it was a swish. It was a very good shot. It reminded me a bit of the Damian Lillard one against the Rockets. Rip City. But it was a very good shot. But I'd say that block was the biggest play of that game.
Yeah. Obviously, I've always loved LeBron. As a Boston fan, breaks my heart to admit it that he is top 3, top 2 between him and Kareem. But obviously,
the biggest assholes in the whole of the NBA. No, I'm joking.
No, but I'm happy for Cleveland. They've not had a championship in there since, is it the 60s?
Yeah.
Was it the Browns?
Yeah, I think it was.
Or the Indians, I don't know. One of the two. Baseball or football, never basketball.
Yeah.
But just to summarise that, really happy for Cleveland. Really well deserved. They had a good season. Started off a bit iffy, but the additions of Channing Frye, J.R. Smith, obviously I've got to give massive credit to. He played phenomenal.
And the addition of Tyronn Lue made all the difference.
Coming away from the playoffs.
Actually, genuine question: do you think if David Blatt was still in charge, they still would have won the championship?
No.
I think that the best thing for Cleveland is someone who didn't coach them and let it to LeBron. I mean, I know like saying coach LeBron and stuff. I know he don't know everything, but I feel like someone who was a bit more open to having LeBron as another coach, whereas David Blatt will be a bit more.
He's an old school.
He wants to be in control, and I think that's what they needed.
Whereas Lou let LeBron take the reins, so to speak.
Yeah, because he knew he wasn't going to be in charge anyway. He just got the assistant manager's job, didn't he? So
yeah.
Obviously, Alan, you're a Mavericks fan. Joe, you're a Clippers. How do you feel about your season as a Clippers fan?
Disappointed. I mean, getting the playoffs and then players get injured, and you think, what's the point? Like Blake got injured again, and then CP3 got the blow. I think would have been against the Trailblazers, one of his 3 1 up, I think. And then they ended up coming back and beating us 4-3. I mean, it's just... It looked good, but then the end of this... Well, our whole season wasn't the best of seasons, but then you get to the playoffs, you get a bit hopeful, and then injury struck, so you can't really do anything about that.
You got to blame it on Blake though. He injured himself, and he's at the detriment of the team. I think that's terrible. I really like. That annoyed me about Blake. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player, but that was stupid.
It wasn't because of that we ended up losing the playoffs. It
was a big part.
But then the fact is, he weren't in the team, and we were still. I think after about 20 odd games or something, we still ended up 4 games behind OKC, and I thought that was pretty good.
And well, a lot of that was to how good Reddick was this season.
Oh, he's great.
He's I think he's taken over the Mike Conley status of the most underrated player in the league.
He's really underrated, though, Mike Conley. So we'll move on from that.
Don't think that's ever been mentioned before online.
No.
Now he's. What's the word? What was his sentence?
Overrated.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
But to summarise, you're happy with the season?
So. Need to make some changes. That's for sure.
Could have made a lot more progress than last season.
Yeah.
Would you get rid of Doc?
I don't like him. I don't think he's a very good coach, to be honest. That's just my opinion. I think he got lucky. I think, again, he's going to be like him. Tyronn Lue's going to get the ring, but it was actually the actual team rather than...
Yeah.
When that was the Celtics, it was much rather the actual big three and Rondo.
Yeah.
I think Doc's got too much powers as it is because he's not only the coach, is he?
The
operations manager.
Everything. And he's like, oh no, I'll sign my son. Classic Sunday league when you're about 16. You're like, why am I being replaced by the long-haired skinny bloke who don't know how to play football? You're like, yeah, one of them things.
Right, Alan, Mavericks.
It depends what date you ask me whether I thought it was successful or not. Because if you asked me 2 days after DeAndre rejected us or changed his mind, I would have been quite happy with the playoffs and well, it was 4-1 against OKC, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We played okay against OKC at times. They were always going to win it. But I think by the end of free agency and the season started, I thought we'd come about. I said 6th if we get on a really good run, 7th likely, 8th if we just go. I knew we'd make the playoffs, and I knew we'd lose in the first round. I just didn't want to get swept.
Yeah.
We didn't get swept, so I can't really complain. We did come 6th, didn't we? Because we went against OKC, we just came 3rd.
Okay, 3rd, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you look at what we had when DeAndre rejected us, Aminu left, we had lost all these players. Everyone was saying you got Zaza starting. We didn't have Deron Williams at that point. We thought we were going to be playing like starting Breyer, Devin Harris, and West is coming off an Achilles, and they didn't know when he was going to come back. Parsons would come from a knee injury. We didn't know when he was going to come back. So, seeing as we come 6th in a very tough West, I will take that. And we finished above the Rockies, so that's always a win as well.
Yeah. Going on to free agency in a little while, but with Chandler Parsons...
Hold on. You're a Celtics fan. Tell us about the Celtics a little bit, because I want to hear your view.
The Celtics, they achieved the right amount, I believe. They're making great progress from, not last season, the season before. They came from, I believe it was 42 and 40. Their record now, obviously, they're improving, coming up to 50 wins.
Yeah.
I believe...
That's that number you want, isn't it?
They're making the right steps forward. They're coming together. The chemistry's there. Obviously, they're looking at free agency with optimism because they've got opportunity to add 2 superstars effectively to their cap room. And there's lots of rumours. You've got Dwight Howard potential. We got a meeting with Kevin Durant on the 4th of July, Independence Day, so that'll be a good day for Kevin Durant to sign with the Celtics. And obviously you've got rumours of Whiteside. I've heard whispers from not from Chandler Parsons, but about Chandler Parsons coming to Boston. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of people that want to play, and...
Well, I was surprised at the way the draft happened and you didn't get someone. I thought, like, the amount of stock you had, and you didn't need to draft all these players now. I thought you would get someone along the range, but no one wants to give up their big players because they know they're going to get a lot of cap room now. And so they can pay these people and maybe get someone new in, so they don't really want to rebuild at this point.
Well, the rumour was that the Bulls, for Butler, they wanted Jay Crowder, Avery Bradley, was it Marcus Smart?
Yeah. And
X amount of picks.
3rd pick, 2nd pick, and a couple second rounders as well. Ridiculously stacked. I mean, Butler's great, but...
2-time All-Star, I believe, Jimmy Butler. But would you give that much to a team like Chicago for an all-star, whereas Avery Bradley, first team all defence.
Marcus Smart will get first team all defence by the end of his career, I think.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Um,
Jay Crowder is obviously transitioning from a small forward to a power forward, but he's doing a great job.
He's developing and he can play 3 positions. He can mark pretty much 1 to 4 spots, depending on the 4.
Yeah.
And his shot is getting there, he's developing, and he's athletic. I mean, all these players, I mean, Butler's better than all of them.
Yeah.
But all 3 of them, plus the number 3rd pick could be better than Butler in the future. We don't know this. So it's too much. You couldn't do it. If I was Boston, I couldn't do it.
But I believe they're making the right noise, and the best thing about Boston is it's always got the history of this is not a free agent destination. But if we've got meetings with Kevin Durant and Dwight Howard, it's resonating well that we are the team moving forward. We are the team that's going to rival the Cavaliers. Toronto, I believe, will take a step backwards at some point.
I think they definitely. I think they peak this year. I think now they've won that playoff match. They will win a playoff series probably next year, but I don't see them becoming. I don't see them as a 2nd seed.
No.
Larry looks every year he gets gassed by this point. DeRozan's very erratic. Boston look like they know. They're so organised, Boston.
Yeah.
And they're so hustle and like full pressure, and teams don't like that. And Boston suit the playoffs. They just need a superstar to carry the youngsters through.
Exactly. Moving forward, Derrick Rose trade to Chicago Bulls in exchange for Robin Lopez. Is it Duran Grant and what was the other piece?
Calderon.
Jose Calderon.
Jose!
Your man.
He's a good player.
Good at free throws.
He's good at free throws.
How do you feel about the trade?
Well, it's bad for Chicago. Well, they're going to start rebuilding there, so I won't see them in the playoffs again for a few years, I believe. And
Well, the Bulls.
yeah, I don't reckon. I mean, unless they get a few.
I think in the East they'll still make it.
Well, no, they didn't make it last
Didn't make
year.
it last year, no.
True. Actually, yeah. I'll take that back.
And yeah, New York, I reckon they're going to go. If they, I mean, they've got a good coach in Hornacek, so I believe they're going to be a good team in the East now, or like not one of the 8 stop that area. They're going to be up there with the Raptors and stuff.
Well, thing with the Knicks now is obviously with Derrick Rose, they're trying to make a pitch to Durant, but Durant doesn't want to hear it. How would you approach Kevin Durant? You're saying we've got Carmelo Anthony, that's a great ball dominant small forward. We've got Derrick Rose, a very good dominant ball guard. You're going to see less of a ball than what you have been with Westbrook.
Yeah.
Do you want to come join us in New York?
Oh no, I think to be honest, I'll give Melo credit. I think he done this in like Team USA. I think he would give the ball up a bit more if he's passing to Durant.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's with Westbrook at the moment. Cantor, Steven Adams, Oladipo. Are you going to go with a 1-year contract, Derrick Rose, who's coming off a lot of injuries? Alright, he stayed relatively healthy last year and had a relatively good season, but still a bit up and down, and he's only got a 1-year deal left. Melo's a little bit, he's aging a little bit as well, and that's pretty much all they've got at the moment. I mean, they're going to be pushed for other people. Wade's name has been thrown about. I can see, Wade would want to play with his friend Melo, I guess, and if they got Durant, they could get Wade. Now that would be a great 1-4.
Yeah. 1-5 with Kristaps as well.
Oh yeah, Porzingis as well. So yeah, that would be very interesting. But I think there's just 3 or 4 teams that's a better proposition than the Knicks at the moment. So it's too far down.
But how do you feel the Knicks are going to do this season? If the roster stays is with Derrick Rose at 1, Carmelo currently,
I think Atlanta, where they were this year, around that kind of mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the season before where that was absolutely epic, but where that was reasonably good last season.
Yeah, I think yeah. Porzingis, he'll do a bit better. Rose, he'll do well. Melo, he'll do well. They still got Flalo, who's decent. They need a centre, I guess.
And that's where Mr. Noah comes into play.
Oh yeah, obviously Joakim Noah. Rumour is that he signed for 18 million.
Yeah, I can see the Knicks around the 6th seed. What about you?
I think they get higher. I mean, the teams that are going to be there again, or there-ish, will be the Cavs, Raptors probably, and Atlanta's going to be a bit funny this season because they're losing Jeff Teague and
Possibly
maybe
Horford.
So then you'd have Boston,
I think the Pacers.
and then maybe I forgot about them. So probably that, maybe the 3 to 5, I reckon. if it clicks,
Yeah.
and then even if it don't click, they're going to come from an 82 game season into the playoffs. I mean, if it takes that long to mix, it's fine. They're making the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that could be a good place for them to be.
I'm on the side of Alan. I think probably 5th to 6th seed.
Yeah.
I'll probably see quite a few personality clashes. I'll see quite a bit of not so great chemistry there. Whereas obviously, Derek Rose has spent X amount of seasons with the Bulls. It's a new style playing with Carmelo, a new system where he's played under Thibodeau, Hoiberg, and now obviously his new coach in New York. I think 5th or 6th seed, and that's being very generous. Durant obviously set up meetings this week. 6 teams have got meetings with him. You've got OKC, Spurs, Golden State, Clippers, Boston, and Miami.
Well, I've already said where I think Durant's going to go. If I'm going to put it in order, Durant is staying at OKC, 1 year plus 1 deal. If he's going to leave, he's already said no to the Rockets. I would, if he was to leave, he'd go Golden State.
Yeah.
I can't. Maybe the Spurs, because I know he really respects Pop, but I think he knows their peak is kind of turning. It's a bit of a weird. They're going to be in a small transition. They've still got Leonard and Aldridge,
Yeah.
so it's going to be fine. But they're in a weird transition. Golden State, this is like their apex. This would be the perfect time to join them.
Yeah.
If I was Durant, I wouldn't. Even though you're boys with Westbrook, there is times when you can see he's frustrated on the court playing next to him. I would go to the Warriors. You're going to get a lot of the ball. You're going to get a decent amount of shots. You're going to win a championship.
That's a fair point. If I was Durant, I'd probably mark off Miami. He's going to be compared to Durant LeBron if he goes there. Oh, he's just following LeBron's footsteps, trying to just basically ring chasing. I'll probably mark Clippers off as well because I'd need the cap space. Their actual proposition is.
I want him to go to the Clippers because I think they'd have to trade Redick, and I would want Redick at the Mavs. If you can do a little sign and trade with Parsons to OKC, Durant to Clippers, Redick to Mavs, I would love that. Love it.
You need a good 2 as well.
Well, West will play the 3.
Yeah. How do you feel about Durant?
I disagree with Al saying it's Warriors apex now. I think it's more like the downhill bit. Everyone's getting older, they're losing a few players, and apparently Bogut's going to leave. So you've got Curry, Thompson, and Green, but then they're going to start losing their.
But they're like 3 of the top, however many players in the league already. I mean, and then you add Durant. You don't really need a decent centre after that. You could get Mozgov on the cheap and you'd be fine. That's 4 All-Stars.
But then you've got Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron James, and they can't beat Dallas. So
True.
To be fair as well, Tristan Thompson, not the greatest centre, but his presence for Cleveland against Golden State was great. And obviously you saw how Golden State played without Bogut.
They don't need Bogut. They don't need Bogut no more.
But I think Bogut was a huge reason why they played so well in the first games.
Yeah, but it happened last series. His minutes was going down every game before he got injured anyway. I think he would have got isolated out. He was doing well at times in certain situations, but at other times he was struggling. I don't think they need Bogut anymore. They're a different team.
I personally think Durant. I agree with Alan. What Durant's doing is signing a 1+1 deal with OKC. But what he's going to do, he's going to go to these teams and go, right, what's your plans next year? What's your plans next year? So he knows the situation of what he'll be joining into going forward. So when he goes to Boston, obviously you've seen Boston transition from a rebuilding team to now not contending, but they're still in rebuild mode, making playoffs. But he's going to see what their aim is for the following season. He's going to go to Spurs and say, look, you're probably going to have Duncan and Ginobili retire next season. What's the plan there? How are we going to move forward if I was to join you guys? And I think that's a wise move because obviously now, moving on slightly from that, OKC targeting Al Horford as replacement for Serge Ibaka.
That'd be a really good team.
So then your starting 5, if Durant stays and does the 1+1, is going to be Russell Westbrook, Depot, Durant, Horford, and Steven Adams. That's a dirty starting 5.
Probably the best, up there with the best starting 5 in the league. Easy.
Yeah. Underrated Steven Adams is.
He's a good player. He's a good guy.
I love it.
The crazier he's looking, the better he plays.
There you go.
I want him to literally come out in a pirate hat next year.
We came into a draft clean shaven, fresh young boy. I didn't think nothing of him. Now he gets a moustache, getting kicks in the balls.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah, quality player.
He's got 18 brothers and sisters. He has.
Don't think the commentators have ever mentioned that in any of his
Never
matches.
all play volleyball or something like that. They're all tall. I think that's the gist of it.
The thing with the Horford coming to Oklahoma though is they need to clear their bench. They'll need to get rid of Enes Kanter, who's on 17.5 million. But obviously he has a 15% trade kicker, which will bring his new salary up to 20 mil.
That is this is the perfect year to get rid of that sort of contract though, because the cap's going up and everyone's got loads of space. Like Sixers, the cap floor is going to be rumoured at 84 million this year. The Sixers last year, their salary was 64 million.
Yeah.
They need an extra 20 million just to get to the cap floor this year. They might as well do it. Yeah, if they're going to get rid of him and they need to get rid of him for nothing just to get Horford, they could I don't know, his stock's quite high, so they could get something back, but it would have to be a lot of picks. Sixers have got picks, they might as well. But then, do they need Kanter? It's like they've got a load of picks anyway. That's the last place they need.
Yeah, because they gained obviously with the Ibaka trade going to the Magic, they gained Ilyasova and the rights to Sabonis' son.
That's the Magic. Yeah, I was talking about Sixers. No, saying Sixers.
No, I thought we meant get rid of Kanter.
Oh yeah.
So then they've got enough bigs.
Yeah,
More bigs here.
Sorry, yeah.
But no, I think that starting five would be too scary, but at the cost you'd lose your bench, and obviously we've seen from San Antonio, we've seen from Golden State how vital a bench is.
To be honest though, if they had Depot, he's young, he can in the playoffs he can play big minutes. Westbrook can, Durant can. Horford is getting on a bit, so he'd have to play normal minutes. Adams will probably play quite hard for a long time. They only need a couple of big backup bigs.
Yeah.
That are half decent, they'll be alright. They could trade Dion Waiters for a half competent big. They could maybe get Mozgov as a bench player, they'll be alright.
I'll keep Dion Waiters.
Just sign Mozgov, that's what you need to do if you want to do well apparently, sign Mozgov.
You do, because Mozgov is unbelievable.
Mozgov is banging.
JaVale McGee I think will be available this year.
Yes! Oh, so, not.
If you're Durant and obviously that proposition's made to you without Horford, are you right in the right front one?
Oh, yes.
Obviously, with Al Horford potentially going to OKC, do you see that being a threat in the West going forward?
Yeah, but again, I say the bench is needed. You may not need 5 players, but you need 3 players at least that can. One can play point guard, one can get you points, and one can play big. And that's the usual 3 that you probably need coming off.
And you need the Richard Jefferson.
And the old man who
the
can somehow, plays when he's like.
Andre Miller, sorted.
Well, they got Andre Roberson, who last season played brilliantly in the playoffs. Again, though, moving forward from that, draft night, OKC traded Ibaka.
Yeah. Magic would be silly, really. I can understand Ibaka's a big name, but
It's a 1-year rental, effectively.
yeah, he's expiring soon. Oladipo was on a small deal for a while. He was getting better and better. What else did they trade for it?
Got Victor Oladipo, got rid of Ilyasova and the rights to Sabonis.
See, I quite like Ilyasova as well. I don't know anything about Sabonis, but I think Ilyasova's a decent player. I don't know what his contract's like. That would determine whether I like him or not. But yeah, I think, as I say, Ibaka for 1 year for Oladipo. And Ibaka is better than Oladipo, but I think Ibaka is still at the same time overrated.
That's a word we don't like using, is it?
Ibaka is overrated.
He's the new Mike Conley. Oh no, he's overrated.
He's played at the same level for some years.
Yeah, and Serge Ibaka's blocks, he's averaged 3.7 in his first few years, and now it's gone down to 1.2 or something stupid. He's regressing. He's getting less and less athletic, and he's trying to play more and more stretch. And he's not a 3-point shooter. Don't kid yourself, man. And he always I know. I'm going back to Dirk, right? But he's 37, and Ibaka's Ibaka should have Dirk in his pocket, really. There should be certain players that even Dirk at his age should struggle against, but Dirk kills him.
Yeah.
Ibaka should be up there now, and he's not. Look at Harden, how far he's come, and how little Ibaka has.
But do you think that would be because Harden's gone to a team where there's no other superstars, whereas he stayed at OKC, where there's two guys who are going to have the ball all day, every day, compared to him.
But I think even if you look at it back then, even I don't think you could build a team around him.
No.
Like, at least they did. You could do that with Harden. So
What do you think Magic's direction is this season? And obviously, with Ibaka as their sort of veteran presence, what do you think their direction is? Because
But apparently it's to get the same seed they did last year, which wasn't the seed. It was like, right. I just don't get it. You've got a nice young team, and you've gone for a power forward that's going to give you 16 points, maybe.
maybe they didn't think the drafts that they got, like Depot and that, they were good enough to get a not a very good draft pick, but not good enough to win a championship. So they thought we need to start from the beginning, get that number one pick. Because a lot of the teams that have been tanking, like Timberwolves and Sixers, well, Sixers are still going to be bad, but like Lakers, they're going to be a bit better now. So Magic can take up their spots and maybe get the 1, 2, 3 picks for the next couple of years and hopefully get a superstar.
That's when you get them teams that tank completely, and then from one season they'll be bottom of the league, next season they'll be like, well, in the playoffs at least. But then you get them teams that slowly get out, like the Celtics have done over the past 3 or 4 seasons, slowly getting better and better, and now they're one of the best teams in the East. But Magic have just hit that dead bit where it's just...
where do we
It
go?
didn't work, didn't get that good player, yeah.
Which apparently the 76ers are doing now, but you know...
Well,
Like, we'll be dead last again. We'll do it again.
that's why the Suns suffered, wasn't it? Because they were going to tank, and then all these like little big pop players that they got did really well, and they won a load of games at the beginning. So they thought, all right, we won't, and then they started to do bad. And now they're not tanking, so they should have just went back to tanking and stuck to their plan. But they did commit fully. They got a few wins and it went to their head. Although they have got Devin Booker now, who's a beast. I love Devin Booker, so I'm a bit jealous of them actually.
So do you see this as an improvement for a Magic, or just stay consistently average?
I think they did. I don't know why they did it, to be honest. It doesn't make sense really at all. They're not going to track it. I mean, I suppose if they get, now they've got a backer, if they also get Parsons, because if Parsons wants to leave, he wants his max. If Magic offer it to him, it's his hometown city or whatever, his hometown state. So Parsons and a backer and Vucevic, it's a bit of a weird front three, defensively especially, but you're going to have some decent offensive options, and it's not going to be too bad, especially in the East. They would have to sort out their guard situation, but they have got Payton, haven't they?
Payton, yeah.
So they get a decent 2 guard, they can shoot. You know, it's kind of building something, but it's a weird situation. It's a weird situation.
Obviously, we had another trade going on last week, which was Jeff Teague to the Pacers, Grant Hill to the Jazz, and the Hawks got the number 12 pick. That was quite an even trade, so to speak.
Yeah, I liked it for all the teams, to be honest. We'll see how that number 12 pick works for the Hawks. The only thing I'm worried about is Teague and Ellis working together. I like Jeff Teague, I like Money Ellis. Together, it's going to be a weird one.
Yeah. How do you feel about the trade?
I like it. I think Indiana Pacers is going to be one of the best teams next season, because I really like Teague. He's one of the better point guards in the league, and I feel like he's got knowing when to pass and knowing when to go his own. And I think he actually might work quite well with Ellis.
We work well with Paul George, I know, like they can take turns, and you know.
The one thing that resonated real loud to me was Dennis Schroeder's Twitter account. Did you see that?
Oh, scumbag, wasn't it?
Yeah, very sort of shady.
Oh, didn't like that, yeah.
Thank you, coach, for believing in me. You could see that he wanted Teague gone.
Yeah, no. Wish my teammate all the best. I've learned so much.
I'm sad to see you go.
Yeah.
Cheers, coach. Should have done it sooner.
Yeah. Now, fuck off.
One last topic before we move on to free agency, which kind of covers a little bit of it. Dwight Howard has got talks with Boston Celtics and Atlanta Hawks. Dwight Howard is obviously from Atlanta, so if theoretically Horford does leave Atlanta, goes to OKC, wherever he goes, Dwight Howard could return home. But he opted out of his 23 million because he believes he can make 30 million. Is there a team that's going to pay that much for him? And it's going to be one of these two teams right here.
There's no way he's getting 30 mil a year. No way.
Well, how much are they paying Horford now? And I think Horford's better than Howard. So
Yeah.
whatever you're paying Horford,
I think
You
it's
got
like 17 off the top
You
of my
got
head.
about a
right?
lot
Like that,
less
yeah.
for Howard than really.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Celtics would be good if he go. If Horford leaves the Hawks, I feel like going to them would be getting on a sinking ship because they're not making progress. They've got to. Their pinnacle was a couple of seasons ago when they got a good amount of wins, and now they're regressing back to their. I mean, getting rid of Teague for a pick is a bit risky.
Bit ominous.
Yes.
I
But
think,
yeah, go on now.
as far as Howard goes, I think he wants some Atlanta seafood. He's going there, entertaining it, but he's got to look at their team. Corver's old. They've just lost Teague. They've who else is it? Oh yeah, they lost Tamara Carroll the other year. They're probably going to lose Horford. Millsap's old. Doesn't make sense unless they give him 30 million. I don't think he's going to go there. The Celtics would make sense as a fit because I think he'll get more offensive looks because your offense is the thing that's the tricky
It's
one.
out of balance. Our defense, I think he had instant defense.
And your defense would be fantastic with all your package. And he will be treated like the number one superstar, which he'll want. He will be like on the front page of everything.
Yeah.
The only trouble is he's 31. All your players are like early 20s.
Yeah. So he'll be a veteran presence in the locker room.
I think he'd join if there's a chance of winning a championship and you would need another superstar with him. So if you got
Kevin
Durant or whatever free agent that's available, that might think, and then Dwight Howard might think, oh, that's interesting. But until that happens, I don't think he'll go to the Celtics either. The Mavs kind of make sense, but it looks like we're going to go on Whiteside. I don't think we're too happy about Howard. I think that ship has sailed. Although everyone thought that with D. Will and we got him and all, so you never know. He won't go back to the Lakers. I think Dwight Howard is Knicks bound. Bum, bum, bum.
I think with the addition of Joakim Noah, if that is true, I think that writes off Dwight Howard to the Knicks. But my perspective from an honest, unbiased opinion is Dwight Howard to the Celtics would be a good match. Dwight Howard was a beast in Orlando.
Was a beast.
He was a beast in Orlando, but he had a system built around him.
Yeah.
He was the athletic centre, and the positions from 1 to 4 could shoot. For example, Isaiah Thomas is hitting it at a great rate. All-star last season.
He's a beast.
Avery Bradley's offence has greatly improved.
He's getting better.
Jay Crowder is obviously at a consistently above average level, and obviously
He's a bit streaky shooter though.
he's streaky, but he's above average.
He's getting it. Hopefully next year he'll take a step. It's not like the Magic days where you had Jimmy Nelson shooting 43% of unopened threes or whatever it was. Like, you need better 3-point shooters.
Yeah,
really.
And obviously if Kevin Durant does come to Boston, positions 1 to 4 can shoot it.
That'd be a quality team.
So that could emulate Dwight Howard at his finest. But again, the thing he relied on most was his athleticism, which is not there. You can still see little shades of it.
Yeah.
But with Dwight Howard, he has instant defence. He's 3 times Defensive Player of the Year. And in the same sort of breath, Dwight Howard, he fits that sort of locker room because the team is young.
Yeah,
they're not immature, but they like their little boyish banter.
I think IT and him could get on well.
Yeah, if they run a pick and roll, that'll be fantastic. And I've said this quite a few times. Dwight Howard at the Rockets in the playoffs, the past 3 seasons has probably been one of their best players. I've held him above James Harden on the odd times. First season at Houston Rockets in the playoffs, 24 and 16 was averages. Season after that, 16 and 14, and last season 14 and 14. But again, when you're matched up on your first round against Golden State, your averages aren't going to look impressive.
You're not going to get many touches.
I still think he's got it in him, and I think Dwight Howard to the Celtics makes sense.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. The thing is, if you want a championship, he can't be your number one guy anymore. Dwight Howard isn't the number one piece to win you a championship. So, and he's going to want a long deal as well. Like at least, he's going to want 4 years, at least 23-ish million.
I'll be happy with a 2-year deal.
I think the deal that I would want to, but he wouldn't want that because it's his last deal. I think I could see him going to somewhere like the Knicks, who would be silly enough to pay it, or he'll be the number one player on a bad team. Like I think if the Hawks are happy to be an average for a while. He could go there and get his money, but Celtics are too smart for that. I think Celtics deserve better than what Dwight Howard could give them. On the court, it's fine, but there's too many things off age, money, and things, and what you'd get from it. I'm not too happy with that.
For one thing, I'll take away. I prefer Dwight Howard to Hassan Whiteside, but that's my personal preference.
He's so much younger though.
He's so much younger. He's only had one full season, and he does like to drift away from his man to try and chase the block. He likes to chase his stats, whereas Dwight Howard, he can be lacklustre on offense, and his athleticism isn't there, but he's still 3 times Defensive Player of the Year. I'll take that any day of the week. Moving on to free agency quickly, on our last bits. Chandler Parsons, where do you think he goes, Joe? Got the max. He could get the max.
Someone will give it to him.
It'll be a team that's going to get maybe 6th playoff seed. He won't go to a big team. He'll be one of them teams that are going to be willing to pay that money for him, but don't have the player. Well, they want to pay that money. Like we were just saying with the Hawks, who are going to be willing to pay money to players just to be an average team. So I don't know what team it will be, but
that actually, because Howard and Parsons are buddies, maybe Howard and Parsons both to the Hawks.
could work. And then you'd have 2 handsome men in Kyle Korver and Chandler Parsons.
Cool.
And it would just be sexy time in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Rumour is as well, but Grizzlies want Mike Conley to stay. They really want him to stay, but they also look to add handsome Chandler P on the team. Grit, grind and gel. How do you feel about potentially losing Chandler Parsons, and obviously you've got your meeting with Mike Conley in Dallas?
If we get Conley and Whiteside, both of them, I'm not fussed about Parsons going. If we get Conley and don't get Whiteside, I would want Parsons. I want 2 out of the 3.
Yeah.
I don't care what order. We'll probably strike out on all 3 because Mav's going to Mav. And that would suck. If we do, we'd probably have to re-sign D-Will, maybe get Nick Batum, maybe get, I don't know what other centres, maybe if it's not too late, go for Howard. I don't really know what other centres are available, so it would be a bit of a mismatch again with D-Will, Wes, Batum, Dirk and someone else. Don't get me wrong, defensively, the 1 to 3 lineup isn't too bad, and we'd still probably make the 8 or 7 seed because Rick Carlisle is a god. But if we had Conley, Wes, let's say we don't get Parsons and Batum takes a little bit less, or Kent Bazemore, which I think is likely, who's actually a decent player, Dirk and Whiteside, I really like that team.
Obviously, if you fail on your conquest for Mike Conley and you don't want to renew Darren Williams, do you know who is a free agent?
Jeremy Lin!
And Rajon Rondo.
Is this 2015 all over again? Oh, Rondo, don't. I'd rather Lin than Rondo. Yeah, I think we'd have to try and go for a trade. I think we'd re-sign D-Will, but we haven't really got much to trade. It's awkward. I mean, our only real asset, which a lot of people would want, would be Justin Anderson, but even he's relatively unproven, although he has got a buzz
He's
about him.
got potential about him. I've seen quite a few plays with him.
But I want Conley, I want Whiteside. The thing is, Whiteside, I think we'll have a good chance because he wants to deal as quickly as possible.
Yeah, so he wants to make his announcement tomorrow.
And if Heat are waiting on Wade issue and Durant, we've got to offer him the max right in the morning. We've got to go, look, you're going to be beast. This is the scribble out DeAndre Jordan saying, but Hassan Whiteside, this is what we're offering you. Ignore the 2015 date, that's 2016. Here's our offer. He's going to be like, that looks pretty good. I think there's a good chance we get Whiteside, unless again a team like OKC come along and go, look, we've got Westbrook, Durant, Oladipo,
Steven Adams
and Whiteside. Although Adams and Whiteside are a bit funny, unless like a big team come along like that. As long as he gets his max, he's going to be a happy man, and he's immature, and he's motor who's got an issue, and he is a one-season wonder. But he had a very good one season, and he's young, and we've been needing an athletic big to work with Dirk that's happy to cover and help Dirk and get a block.
Yeah.
So we kind of need him, to be honest.
One thing I would say about Chandler Parsons, personally, I wouldn't offer him a max.
He isn't worth the max.
He's not worth the max. When he did come back from his surgery, he looks great. But again, that's his second surgery on the same part of his body as well, so that sort of resonates as this could be this could be something I'm going to stay clear from.
Yeah, and also the fact that, as I say, when he's been on form, he's been up there with some of the best in the league.
Yeah.
But it's only been for like small week periods. It hasn't been for long enough, and there's been long periods where he has gone missing, and fans haven't been too happy. And the fact that Mavs have had a lot of faith in him, backed him the whole way.
He had a great fan base behind him as well.
Don't get me wrong, 15, 16, 17 mil, even 18, a little bit of a pay rise. I mean, he got overpaid in the first place.
Yeah.
But because he's been underpaid for so long, it's like, okay, fair enough, and we needed him. We pay for, what we need. But 18 mil is still a lot, and he still wants 22, 23 to put the team in a bad situation. Dirk took a pay cut for us to get him.
Yeah.
He needs to, if he's not buying in with the Mavs, see you later. We'll get someone else.
Obviously, you've just discussed what you'd like for the Mavs. Joe, coming up free agency, is there anything additions you want done for the Clippers? Is there any needs that need filling?
Give us Reddick. Give us Reddick.
Give you Crawford, he's free agent.
That's likely, I can see that happening.
What's the thing? We haven't got enough cap room to get another great player. Like I was reading that if Kevin Durant did want to play for the Clippers,
You'd have to sign and trade Blake.
Yeah. So.
Or DeAndre.
Yeah.
That'd be quite funny if you trade DeAndre now.
To Mavs.
To Mavs. For Dirk. No.
Well, I did actually see someone suggest that it was the signing trade I mentioned, Parsons to OKC. OKC, Durant to and we get DeAndre Jordan, which would be absolutely hilarious, but won't happen.
I feel like the things we need are not superstars because we've got two of them anyway, Blake and Chris Paul, and we've got a good centre in DeAndre. We just need a good substitute power forward because I mean Carl Aldridge isn't very good. A sub centre who can come in, play good defence. I mean, I'd take it.
Yeah, most of them do well.
Good defence, good rebounds, and can actually shoot free throws. So not going to get any hack of Jordan.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, Jeff Green's okay, but I think we need a better forward.
I would.
And our replacement if Jamal Crawford goes, which I want him to go because I can't stand him. I think he's absolutely pony anyway.
I had a thought of if Hawks are trading the older players, try and trade some assets, even Austin Rivers and a few young players and stuff for Kyle Korver. Because if you had Chris Paul with Korver one side, Redick the other, doing laps like they don't stop running, they're going to get so open. That's all you need. I mean, Korver's okay defensively too. You got Blake for the inside. You got DeAndre as well. That'd be really good if you got Korver as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, was it?
Anything else you'd like to add with that?
No, I think we're that same sort of slowly progressing team, and now we're getting to that stage where we've got as far as we can go with what we got. We're just needing to add in the Richard Jeffersons to get us over that hump. not Richard, you know what I mean? Like that Golden State bench that can come on and shoot a good of three as their starting lineup. It's like, okay.
Well, even Golden State, they had like Iguodala coming off the bench and he came on and won a finals MVP. That sort of player.
That's what we need. Something like that. A few of them anyway.
Is there anything else you want to add towards this?
As I say, Parsons on Twitter hasn't been that great about the situation. He knows the fans are sensitive, so he's been a bit of a dick, unfortunately. But no, I'm just looking forward to it. I'm a bit nervous because what happened last year, but I'm looking forward to it as far as Mavs go. LeBron's obviously going to be staying at the Cavs, that goes without saying. I think Durant's going to be staying at OKC. But anything you want to add?
No. So we'll wrap it up now, guys. Thank you for tuning in to In the Post podcast. To keep it short, we're going to be doing this more frequently. We're going to try once a week, and I'll be putting out blogs within the Twitter handle @BouncyOrange, and I'll be doing more writing there.
Bouncy Orange quality.
Spot gaze.
First time I heard the name. Obviously, if you like this podcast, do give it a like and give us some feedback. Anything's to do appreciated. If you do like our green screen, comment #like green screen. If you don't like the green screen,
don't comment.
Yeah. If you hate it, if you really can't stand us, like and share and say, oh, you can't stand these guys. Please watch them and see how bad they are. Because any bad publicity
Is publicity.
Yeah, there we go. We'd appreciate that. And have a good free agency, guys.